right, I think we are live. So maybe you can check just in the Facebook group if you are live.
I'm gonna look real
Double
quick.
check also.
I think it takes a minute, like a few seconds.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit
Really?
delay. So
There we go. I gotta see it now.
yes, right now we're live. I think we will just take a few minutes and see people come on. Then we start with the topic.
Yeah, we
right?
picked this time. Yeah, we picked this time hoping it may be more conducive to people, more convenient. Well, I guess we're about to find out. So if nobody comes on.
Yeah. So what time is it now?
Here it is 7 o'clock. So.
Yeah. So here it's 2 a.m. in the morning. So we will see. I think we have a little bit more American people joining today.
People aren't working so much there. I see a few coming on. For somebody left, you're not allowed to leave if you come on. So just letting you know. So guys, click the link above this where it says StreamYard.com/Facebook, and it'll ask, permission to give StreamYard the ability to post your name next to your comment, so we can use it. Oh, that was Valerie. She said I came back. She left and then came back.
So how are things going, man? How you doing?
Oh man, I just drove. I got in last night. I drove about 980 miles straight through. Man, with 4 dogs and a U-Haul, I'm telling you, I've done it a couple times, and I don't think I'm gonna buy a van. I should have kept that van I bought before, and
so you drove with your pickup?
Yeah. I had two. I have a camper shell in the back of my truck, so you'll see. But I had 2 crates in there, and then I had 2 dogs in like one of those dog hammocks in the back seat.
Yeah.
I had the puppies in the back, and then my senior dogs in the back seat. They don't do nothing but roll upside down and just lay there. So they're not very. I guess they're good for riding, but they don't give me company. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's 7 people. Costas is on here. Magic Fingers. Michael Carpenter. And I already mentioned Valerie.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to see everybody next week for Silver School.
Yeah, me too.
Again.
Should be fun. Yeah. So March 12th 15th through the 17th. We'll be there the 12th through the 19th, though. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll be there.
Fly in on the 12th. I think something around evening I will be there.
And then back out on the 19th.
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know what time. That way I'm there at the right time.
Yeah, man, you got to pick me up from the airport.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the time you sent me, but we'll have to make sure it's where I got it.
I will remind you.
Yeah, I'm only about 3 or 4 hours away here. I think 4 hours here. So but yeah, we'll be there. I guess probably won't do anything on the 12th, but we'll be there the 13th, 14th. So 2 days before, and then I'm looking at my calendar, 2 days after. So if anybody's in Missouri next week in Springfield wants to hang out and do something, cause some trouble, work some dogs or something, we're ready. I'm not bringing my dogs. I got somebody coming to take control of them. So need a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how long has it been? 5 minutes?
Yeah. I think we can start. Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well. So, I guess just like we mentioned, new silver schools next week, 15th through the 17th. And so Derek Kraus, I'll put his link up here. Drop it. Boom. See if that works. Yeah. So that is the link to Derek Krause's to Kraus K9's Facebook page. So he will be working dogs Wednesday, the first night of class, which is that Wednesday. After class, everybody eats together, hangs out. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun during that time at Silver and Gold, just hanging out afterwards. So after that, Derek will be working dogs. So he'll have all his decoy equipment and stuff in Springfield. And if you want him to work your dogs, then visit that link right there to his Facebook page, and there's a contact me link on there for you to reach out to him and let him know. He's got a bunch of decoy development workshops going on all across the U.S. He's doing one at Bow Wow Bill's, and then he's in Seattle. He's got one. I don't know if that's the same or not, but I know he's got one in Nashville. I wrote it down. The end of April, he's doing one in Nashville. So if anybody is interested in him, going to one of his workshops or hosting one, reach out to him, let him know. I'm sure he don't sleep. So I'm sure he's 20-hour days. So, all right. Should we just get right into it?
Yeah, I think we just start right into it. And thank you, everybody, for coming on today. And today is a really interesting topic, I think, what it means to be the dope dealer. And what we mean by that is dopamine. What is dopamine? How do we use it in training? And where it comes from and why we need it. So, yeah, Michael, you want to start?
Yeah. So, sure. So it's kind of coined by, I see it best explained by anybody who's been to Silver School or Gold School is going to know this already. But Robert Sapolsky's explains the dopamine jackpot, and what they found was, I think the illustration that was used is, was it monkeys? I'm pretty sure. And so there was an exercise that had to be done, whether it was push a button or whatever, and then there was a reward. But what they found when they made that variable, so in other words, either the reward was decreased like to 25% of the reward, or increased like 75%, sort of everything all at once, the total reward, then the amount of dopamine really skyrocketed. And the way he explained it was when they introduced the maybe factor. So it really is what it creates, an anticipation. That anticipation creates dopamine, and dopamine is the feel-good hormone. So let's see. I can't see comments on here, so I'm trying to juggle. But so, and I love the way Bart explains it. And he, in class, he talks about, he says, be the dope dealer. And really, being the dope dealer has nothing to do with, dopamine doesn't come from the word like dope. Those, as far as drugs, that's two different illustrations. But I looked it up to see if that's actually where it originated, but it's not. But it fits perfect, to be the dope dealer, to be the drug dealer, is like dealing in dopamine as well. And the way he explained it was, if the addict is coming to the drug dealer, they just kind of give it all to them, get them stuck, put that hook in them, and they don't require anything. And then the next time they come, they might require a little bit more and give them everything. And the next time they come, they might require, even more and give less. And eventually, where the dope dealer was given everything and the person who was coming to the dope dealer, didn't have to really do much, the script flips. And so the dope dealer is now giving nothing or requiring a lot. So the way this in dog training, and I'll throw this video up here. This video is just me, and I have two young dogs. Legend and Venger will be the first. They're both males. The first one is Venger, and the second one is Legend. And basically, Venger will be going for the box, the dopamine box out there. And as soon as he puts his head in, I don't require him to keep his head in it. I don't require. He's done box work before, but if he hadn't done box work, then I would just kind of let him loose in the room. It would probably be a little bit smaller room, but even if not, I would just let him loose in the room. And if he even just looked at the box, I would, if he gave any attention to it, I would jackpot him. But right here, he just goes, he barely sticks his nose in the box, and boom, I give him everything. And it really just builds a lot of hope. And then after that, I'll do the same thing with Legend, but it's with Clack Clack board. And so as this progresses, and honestly, they're already past all this, but what would happen is I would require them to get closer to it or the box, or to keep their head in the box further or for a longer period of time. And, before I gave them everything, and then we have a video. Let me check real quick, make sure. I also have a video of Bart explaining it, but we'll pause it. So I didn't really require anything. Nothing flashy, nothing special. Just something. And of course, if they didn't know the Clack Clack and the box already, again, if they just got close to it or gave it some attention, boom, I'd give them everything again. And as time goes on, they'll have to do more for less, let me throw this video of Bart up here explaining it. A good spot for it. Let's see. I messaged.
This exercise, and even for a no good exercise, we give him everything. And we will make a little movie every day. So we give him everything. Was it good? No. Good. When you do the exercise, you see all his hope, then he has a reason to go for it. What did you see? That the dog was not believing in it, he was not pushing in the collar, he was not hanging in the collar. So normally they must go full power in this leash. And that makes negative reinforcement. They grab it, they hold it, we click release, and they get the food. And that's how we will proceed. So it's like the dog must learn to invest the money on a bank that gives a lot of return. It's a little bit, we play the dope dealer, we give a lot of dope for quite no behavior. We will keep you posted. Thanks.
And that's a thing I think people oftentimes forget. So you must give the dog a lot of hope first for the minimum effort they show. So therefore you create a lot of hope for the behavior you want them to do. And then later when you have a lot of hope, you can add your manipulations and add a little bit of negative reinforcement. And when you have no hope and you add a negative reinforcement, the dog will say, oh, maybe the dog will say, oh no, that's too much, because it's not that important for me, because it has not so much hope and desire for the exercise. And that's what a lot of people forget, I think.
Yeah, man, I see that a lot. And I even have to back up sometimes, too, if I am trying to shape a behavior or use negative reinforcement to, shape a behavior. And then I see the dogs kind of show some resistance.
Yeah.
Just for example, if you're, trying to teach a tactile down, if a dog is showing some resistance to going down, well, the dog don't see a lot of hope in going down. But if you'll, man, just the dog looks down and you jackpot it, well, then the next time where the dog showed resistance, that's going to become the minimum standard, and it's going to be the dog is going to start off in that, at that level, and so you can push it a little bit further, jackpot again. So I failed to mention that even just going back, like what Bart did in the video there, going back to a behavior that the dog already knows and building hope back into a behavior that a dog has lost hope for, or lost, they're not really flashy in it. You can use that. You can be the dope dealer again, just to kind of rebuild the speed or power into behavior. So,
and also,
it's pretty.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Also, what's very important is that you make small steps, always little steps. And when you have those little steps, for example, like the people could probably say, yeah, but if I do that, when I reward even the looking at the clack, or even the looking at the bottom for a down tactile command, they would say, yeah, but that takes very long. Yeah, maybe in the beginning it takes very long, but if you make small steps and you go on, move on every day with a small step, it's even better than you take a lot of time for a big step. So at the end of the day, small steps have always been better, and also better for the dog to understand, and the dog having more fire, more hope for the behaviors we want him to do. So that's also pretty important.
Even if it does take longer, which, like you said, really it really won't take longer, but in our minds it does, because we want to see a lot of progress all at once. But if we'll just slow down, then even if it did for some reason take longer, the end product that you have, the dog's attitude, is it's so much different. Legend, I taught him. I jackpotted him. So I taught him the middle position, the center position, where he goes between my legs, flips around, and comes back. Legend, and I jackpotted that behavior one time, and I can't get him to stop doing that. Like he'll charge at me to get through my legs, turn around, and come back. And I'm telling you, I could almost do an entire project in the yard without him leaving that position. It's just, but
crazy sometimes.
he sees a lot of hope in it, and it's crazy how that works. But whenever we posted, what does it mean to be the dope dealer? So many people started commenting and saying, I can't wait for this one. I can't wait for this one. But it's such a, it's a 5-minute concept. Really, there's not a lot to it, but man, it is for good training, for top training. It's important. It's imperative, really. So.
And yeah, also you can do that. What you mentioned before, if you want to bring back a little bit hope and desire for maybe an exercise you haven't done in a long time. It doesn't take long. It takes you, if you do it like in your videos, you do one behavior, or you do one step of a behavior, and you have a bad day, the dog's maybe tired, you are tired, you don't just want to really train today, you can just do a jackpot session. You go out and say, hey, you do one down, you do one time touching the clack, you give a jackpot. So that doesn't take long, and you can use that if you're in I wouldn't say in a bad mood, but if you maybe today you don't have that much time, and you can do that one behavior jackpot, you're done, you're finished very fast, and the dog, or you bring a little bit back the hope in the dog for that exercise. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, and you know, even it's important to throw that. Even if you're not feeling bad, it's important to throw that. I'd use that a lot. If I'm not feeling good and I just want to train, I'll do a jackpot session.
Yeah.
But if you always feel good and you always try to make a long training session, if you're one of those people, you'll lose the fire there too, you know, because you're getting rid of that maybe factor. It's every rep the dog should not know I'm getting 5 pieces of kibble. You know, they should they should always anticipate, is it going to be 1 piece? Is it going to be 100 pieces? Is it going to be, you know, because if they know that one click or that one yes, that one marker means that could be their whole meal, well, they don't want to miss that whole meal, you know. So, but that could be the only. It's just that maybe, and you can take something that the dog has a negative association with, and with that jackpot, include when you inject that maybe factor, that dope dealer factor, you can completely imagine you're driving down the road, you know, and all of a sudden in your rearview mirror you see the blue lights, right? You're getting pulled over for something. Well, you get pulled over and the cop walks up, you roll down your window and he gives you $5,000, you know. From then on, if you ever get pulled over again, you're going to wonder, is this, you know, I wonder if this is one of those times. So I know it's a weird example, but you know, it's whatever it takes to get that maybe factor into the dog's mind. And that's being variable. So being a dope dealer, you go to the dope dealer, you never know what you're going to get, right?
But on the other hand, we have today, it's what Bart said always, today we have a lot of dopamine dogs, and back in the days we had a lot of endorphin dogs. So endorphin dogs, they don't have that little happy feeling, so they like to suffer a little bit. So we have also these kinds of dogs and these types of dogs. So not every dog is a dopamine dog that's always wiggling with the tail and always happy and feeling, looking good. So on the other hand, we also have endorphin dogs. So for example, I have a dog, my Doberman. He's a little bit an endorphin dog. So he likes a little bit, the conflict. He likes a little bit the tap, tap, tap. And that's what keeps him going. So he likes to suffer a little bit. And yeah, you got to know that. So there are also types of dogs that need a little bit that, you know.
Yeah, it's a challenge to understand when you have two different, if you have a dopamine dog and a dog that's not so much a dopamine dog, then it can throw you off. It threw me off. My 2 puppies right now are on different. Did we put this link up here to the Sapolsky link?
Yeah, I did it,
Fowler.
but I think we
You
kind
did?
of
Okay.
clicked it.
Okay,
But we
gotcha.
can just leave it on a little bit.
Okay. So my dog Venger, he's a dopamine junkie. He is he's just psycho every time he comes out, just happy about everything. And my dog Legend, he's a NVBK, listen, I'm tired. I'm not gonna try to get syllables out.
NVPK,
Yeah, there we go. And so he's typically not a dopamine. That line anyway is typically not a dopamine junkie. But and it took me a minute to understand that, because Venger would come. It got to the point where I'm happy about training Venger, but then here comes Legend, and I'm like, man, he is just not. He ain't into it. And it takes being the dope dealer. It takes that dopamine jackpot to bring that out. I have called Bart and Michael on it, messaged them about it, because I was like, man, I got to get somewhere with this dog, you know. And he would just come out and he would be about everything except me, everything except training. And but that's changing now though. So a lot of operant. I went back and started reshaping everything, letting him think it's his idea. The whole maybe factor. Maybe if I do this, it's working too. It really is. So
what's also really, I think we forgot to mention that, is about the video from Sapolsky, is that the people, or you might think that the dopamine is the highest when the dog or the monkey in that exercise and that example, that the dopamine is the highest when, let's say, the monkey has the reward. But what they found out is, and you will see that in the video, is that the dopamine is the highest when uh, when the marker for the behavior is coming. So let's do it on the dog side. When you click and that announces the reward, that's the point where the dopamine is the highest in the dogs. So that's also pretty important because yeah, normally you would think, hey, we are the happiest when we get our food, for example, in the dog world. But no, the announcement of the food, that's what gives the dopamine to the dogs. It's pretty interesting, the video.
Yeah. So I was watching I watched a video that reminded me of this. I don't know if it was on Facebook or I think it was a Dateline NBC thing, and it was what's the guy's name? He does the To Catch a Predator stuff where they catch like child predators and stuff. And they were explaining how it's not even like the act of the crime that gets these guys. It's the hunt. And I guess it's the same thing with hunting, deer or whatever, but it's not even the act of getting the prize. So I used to be big into trout fishing, fly fishing. For me, it's about catching the fish, but it's the what if, it's the act of doing what it takes to get the reward, the anticipation of the reward that really spiked the dopamine in the monkeys.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much explains it. I don't know if somebody's on right now that wasn't on earlier, but we played a couple videos. You can go back and watch a few examples of just jackpots, nothing special. And then there's a video of Bart explaining it in there. So I think that pretty much, is there any questions that you see listed?
Gamblers are good examples. Yeah, that's correct.
Again, if y'all weren't on here earlier, Silver School is in 2 weeks, 17th through the 19th. We'll be there for the whole week. I think Valerie said that she's going to be there too. Well, yeah, there it is, 13th through the 19th. So if anybody wants to get together and work dogs, or I'm not bringing any dogs, but wants to have fun or just chill, talk dogs, or, whatever, we'll be there. And Derek Krause will be working dogs after we eat and hang out on the first night of school. And Dominic has a seminar coming up in Columbia.
Yeah. So I have an invitation to Columbia in July, and I will be going there for a 2-day seminar. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, I've never been to Colombia or South America, so it's my first time, and we'll see how it goes there. And yeah, also Derek, if you mentioned Derek Cruz, if you want to help and support Derek Cruz's the topic about the bill change, just go on his Facebook page and support and like and share the post. We can also put the link in the comments. And also another thing on my own invention is, if you want to change something and if you want to support the ICP, I don't know if you're are you a member of the ICP?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Sorry.
No, I was. I need to get back.
Yeah, I hope
send me
so.
your link. Yeah,
I will
send
do
me
it,
your link.
So it's pretty important that we stand up about all the tool banning and everything like that. the humane use of all kinds of tools. And yeah, it's pretty important, because the animal welfare people, they get even more and even louder. And yeah, we gotta make sure that we can stand together against it. And yeah, if you want to know a little bit more about the IACP, what the IACP does, just send me a private message and we can get in contact. So I would really love to see some of you guys joining the IACP and helping us together, spreading the word of modern training and the humane use of all kinds of tools. So
Man,
yeah,
it's so important.
Link up.
It's man, the whole debate, you know, it's really heating up lately. There's a lot of, I could say it in 1,000 different ways, but I won't. But there's a lot of attacks coming um, against different styles of dog training. So you know, there's power in numbers. That's what the legislature sees as numbers. It's all about numbers. It's all about votes, and they want to please the biggest amount of, you know, the largest group. And we're kind of not there, but we could be very easily. But silent majority sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And yeah, we also try to do a little bit more of the IACP in Europe over here, because the IACP is mostly in the USA. So we have a bunch of European members also, and yeah, big things coming up in Europe. Can't say anything at the moment, but yeah, stay tuned, and we've got some things for the people in Europe too. Thank you.
Yeah. So, just to recap, listen, if you have a behavior that you're trying to really build heart and soul into, fire into, you know, passion into from your dog, then go back and watch this video. It's a really simple concept on how to isolate the passion into a behavior, or how to rekindle, you know, the heart and soul into a behavior that your dog has kind of lost a passion for, or even in a new behavior when you're developing it, you know, how to really um, take the little steps that you're teaching. When you're teaching behavior, you know, you break it down into smaller steps, but how to take those steps and build the passion into each successive step, and how to jackpot, how to build your dog's really inherent dopamine production into a behavior. So it's there. There's a couple small videos, but it's a profound concept that doesn't take a long time to explain or to understand. So, and Valerie's also posted in the comments the link to Robert Sapolsky's video where he has broken it down. And then there's a video of Bart in there, and then a couple of my dogs just doing a simple jackpot on a couple behaviors. So,
and you can't normally you can't do nothing wrong with that. If you do a jackpot session, what could go wrong? So just try it out and see if it works out for you and your dog.
Yep, it'll make a difference, 100%. Listen, you know, that's how I crate train. Is I jackpot. You know, I let my dogs out hungry, and I don't have to tell them to go to their crates. They'll fight to get to their crates, wondering if there's something in there for them. So, do you notice any difference on the frustration due to different rewards? For example, do you see any difference between the frustration when you're rewarding with food to the frustration when you're rewarding with a bite? So I'm assuming that that's the frustration is you're talking about, like, where you would normally reward, you withhold that reward and require a little bit more from the dog. So if you're familiar with the NePoPo triangle, that's not a very good triangle, but I think you can see that pyramid really is what it is. The bottom level of the triangle, you're rewarding every behavior, right? And then the middle level on the triangle is our intermittent. Well, it's our proofing phase, but it's really where the magic happens. It's sometimes reward, sometimes don't reward, sometimes that's where the maybe comes in. And that's where if a dog does something and you don't reward and they're accustomed to being rewarded, then if you withhold a reward and the dog gets frustrated and it kind of offers it a little bit faster, if a dog just kind of barks, that's what you wanted, and you don't reward and the dog's like, hey, barks a little bit more, then you jackpot that or reward that. That's with food. So, but I think the question here is there a difference between jackpotting with food and with a toy or a bite or a ball, if I'm reading that right? Sometimes I'll have a ball in my training vest, and I know that both of my dogs, they prefer a toy over food anyway. So sometimes I will, they'll go stick their head in the box. Let's just say that, for example, or go touch the clack clack board. And instead of jackpotting food, man, I'll click and throw the ball, and they turn into psychos at that point. So I don't know that I'd see a difference. I think it depends on if your dog has more food drive or more toy drive or drive for a sleeve, whether or not there would be a difference in the frustration between the two. So I think that's an individual question for a dog. If a dog doesn't have any toy drive or drive for a bite, but if they have a lot of food drive, then, if you're going to jackpot, if you're going to use, if you're going to be the dope dealer, or if you're going to use a jackpot of any kind of reward, it has to be a jackpot to the dog. It doesn't matter if you think it's a lot. If the dog doesn't assume, or if it doesn't mean a lot to the dog, then it's not a jackpot. So.
And also later, our goal will be that the dog is able to switch the drives as a reward. So when you have an active decoy around, you also gotta be able to reward your dog with, let's say, dry kibble. So you always have to be able to go down into the reward system when we say the highest reward is the active decoy and the lowest reward is the dry kibble food. So that makes it a lot easier later when you maybe go for PSA, let's say, and you will not always reward with the decoy, because then the decoy becomes everything for the dog and the dog's not anymore looking at you. So therefore you got to see that you sometimes also go back from the active decoy as a reward. You go back to the dry kibble or a ball, even a ball that comes from you. So that will make your life a lot easier. If your only reward is not the decoy, it's also something that you have, like dry food or a ball or a toy that comes from you.
So my question, Dominic, would you kind of use the pre-mac principle there? So if there's an active decoy on the field and then the dog's seeing that as the reward, but then you click or do whatever, you release your dog to the reward, but the reward is to come to you and get the food. He gets the food and then goes and gets the decoy. Is
that's also possible? So that that the food is the announcement. When he gets the food, that's the announcement. Then later you can get to bite the decoy. But that's just my personal opinion. So I decide for the dog what he has to take as a reward. If it's really the highest reward for the dog, maybe not, but I don't care. But the dog has to take what I will offer him, because then later he's not able to decide what he wants. Oh, today I don't want a food because I want the decoy. So I always make sure that the dog takes the reward I offer him. So it doesn't mean that it's the highest reward at the moment, but he has to take it as a reward.
I think we could do a live just on that, probably breaking that process down. It's interesting. Would you use that process during? That's separate from the jackpot, though, right? I mean, if a dog sees, okay, gotcha.
But I think also you got to start that off in small steps, so you can't just go on the training field and say, okay, there's an active decoy and I have the dry food there, and you got to take that. So you got to start off small points. Let's say dry food, wet food, passive ball, active ball, and so on and so on.
Gotcha. Yeah, or you wouldn't set it down like on the decoy's foot, maybe start off with. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Again, I'll mention it again. I think that pretty much sums it up unless we have anything else. Derek Krause, first night of school after everybody eats, hangs out, has fun. He's working dogs. He's in Facebook jail for another 6 days. So if whoever knows Derek on here, you're not surprised by that. So he's in that. That's why we keep saying that. Dominic's what's the dates for your seminar in Colombia?
It's not 100% fixed, but
Gotcha.
we'll go in the end of July.
Gotcha. We'll post a link to that. I don't know if anybody's going to be in Colombia, or if maybe somebody's watching in Colombia, or maybe if y'all know somebody in Colombia, anybody who's on here, then tag them in this group, message them, and let them know. Be a good opportunity. So,
all right. If anybody has any questions, just write it down in the comments. And I think if we don't have any more comments, I think we just keep it a little bit shorter today. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep people too long. Hopefully some more people will see that. Y'all do us a favor. So it really helps especially for guests that come on, if the more people that are on here. So like and share, invite people to the group if you don't mind. We don't get nothing out of it. It's just kind of expands our, we want this group to be a discussion amongst all of us. So the more people, the better off we are. So we get different opinions, different points of view. Again, Silver School next week. Is it next week? Week after next. The 12th through the 17th. We'll be there a couple days early and a couple days behind. So hit us up if you're there. You want to hang out, talk dogs, work dogs, play with dogs. Maybe there's something that you have that we can help with and work through with your dog. That'd be fun. Hit us up. Bring me some white powder, Dom. Did you see that? You put that up there? That's a gallon. Put that up there. But well, he's talking about you going to Colombia, I guess. Hey, if you're going to be the dope dealer, you're going to Colombia.
Enough, man.
Yeah. He'll be in real jail by the time this video's over with. Conspiracy to distribute, smuggle. All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate everybody for coming out. Dominic, will you you're going to put your link to the IACP in the comments. So look for that. If you're not a member of the IACP, then hit him up. It's worth it. We need a big standing. I think that's it. I don't think I forgot to mention anything. I probably did, but if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Oh, Valerie said she put it above too, the link to the IACP.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Where is it? Here, Canine Professionals.
There it goes. All right. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time. We're not sure when the next live will be. I know in 2 weeks we'll be in Missouri, so there's no telling what'll happen. You never know. Maybe spontaneous.
Yeah, so maybe we do a spontaneous live with maybe with some couple of other students. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Get a whole group on here. So if you're going to be there, Valerie, it looks like she'll be there. Anybody else? Just
will also be there.
Who? Oh yeah, Michael Carpenter will be there. Yep. Yeah, he'd definitely be another good one. So we'll have all our guests on at once, and then we'll get vacation for 6 months. So no. All right, folks. See y'all next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.